Okay, guys, what is up? We are now live. I'm going a little bit early because we got people that are viewing. So I just got to test this so there's not a lot of feedback. Um, we're going to get weird echoes. Okay. So I think I got that figured out on my end. We should be good now. Yeah, guys, thank you for checking things out. We're going to be watching or doing this process now. I'm simultaneously streaming on both YouTube and Twitch just because I've been asked before by some people that prefer Twitch over YouTube. And we're a little early. I talked about starting at 5. I always start a little bit early, but things are pretty much set up and wanted to get everything ready to go before everybody started showing up. So today we're going to be doing some designer toy building. And that's kind of an exciting thing. A lot of people ask me about doing designer toy stuff all the time. So I figured it was about time to do a live stream making a scratch build. So we're going to do that today. We're going to start with a couple different figures, and we're going to just make something out of these with random bits of plastic and things you can find at a dollar store, or usually even, you know, on a weird trash day when people are moving out and they're throwing away kids' toys. All this stuff I've collected over the years, just walking by a weird thing that I thought would be really funny to turn into some sort of toy. These are like little cheap dinosaurs that are already falling apart. So we're going to get started, and all you're really going to need to do this is something to cut up your toys with. I'm going to be using this X-Acto blade here. I got a couple of them actually. Some basic super glue, so that's something else you'll probably need, and just a cutting mat, some metal rulers, and triangles. So stuff like this will let you cut things a little bit cleaner. And then we're just using random scrap model parts. I have a whole box next to me. I'm just going to grab random parts as I see fit, and we'll go from there. So I think we're going to definitely work with this dinosaur. And then this random cowboy figure I got from a model shop in a bin of stuff that they were throwing out. So pretty awesome. We're going to work with this guy. It's got a base, so it'll make it stand up no matter what we do to it. And I think we're going to take the head of the cowboy off and then put the dinosaur head on there, and then maybe replace the cowboy boots with these dinosaur feet, and then just keep going from there. We're just going to make a bunch of random stuff. So this is going to be a one-off right now. Should be pretty exciting. And also wanted to show you guys a new feature we have built in known as the battle boss, or what is it, the stream boss. So as you guys interact with the stream, this top bar here that says Kevin right now, that was a little test, will actually change throughout the stream, and whoever defeats them by interacting on the stream becomes the new stream boss. So you can do things like the video, you can do things on Twitch, give me bits, follow, subscribe, all that stuff will interact with it. Donations, all that stuff interacts with it to create a new stream boss. And then as the stream goes on, the challenge gets harder. So I thought it would be a fun thing. Someone told me I should check it out and give it a shot. And then got this weird, this subscriber goal is looking a little strange. I don't know why it says it like that, but let's let's fix that. Sorry about that. So yeah, for the subs, we are currently at 740, which is awesome. So I feel like less than 2 weeks ago we were doing we made it to 700. So that's pretty awesome. So just fixing this real quick. Sorry. And I'm going to try to just talk on stream. So if you're using the super chat and talking, I'm going to try to answer your questions. I think I have everything set up now to where I can do that. So it shouldn't be too bad. And we'll see what can happen, because I'm using the standing desk today to film this. So it should be a little bit easier for me to see things. And then the sounds, I still don't have that stuff figured out yet. So I need to talk to someone that understands the audio interfacing of the live stream a little bit better so I can hear when things are being interacted on the stream, because I have to keep them muted. So right now we got pretty much everything set up. We've done some tests. It is currently 9 minutes away from stream time. So before I really cut into the figures too much, I'm going to just start prepping some stuff. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you want to like this video, that would really help out the channel quite a bit. And yeah, let's just kind of go with it. And anyone that's on Twitch, I'm new to Twitch, so I have no idea what to expect and really what to do on Twitch. So please guide me. I'm not sure if I'm doing things right on Twitch or not. All right, we're gonna cut this little piece here. So this is actually a parts tree from Model Kit. And these are great for doing scratch build stuff, especially if you like to do like robots and weird builds like that. So I'm going to grab this little plate here because actually it's got some cool writing on one side of it. And the other side is kind of just basic generic information. But this could be a cool piece for like a robot, like a license plate or something like that. Like just a weird part number. I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know what this actually says. But we're just going to pretend it says something that's important to the robot. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see on there. It's like a little cool plate. You got the cutout C on here. Now we can spend all the time cleaning this up, prepping parts. All right, so we got some more people joining the stream. Welcome, guys. So this is a scratch build piece here. This is a novelty bootleg that I built, and I never really had a chance to finish it. So it's a bunch of different components from different action figures, other vinyl toys, you know, stuff I had lying around. And this one still moves because the model kit that I use is actually a Gundam. And this is these are two different Gundam arms. Or no, sorry, this was a Gundam leg. And then I glued this arm from another toy on here, like for the hand. And I left this one that like articulates. I built this little jetpack thing. I took this original character's legs off. So this is an original leg that's a casted version of this character's leg using epoxy sculpt. So this one's a bit more detailed, and it's not really finished, but it's got a lot of parts that I like, and it's a one-off, so I'm not going to make another one. I'm just going to end up actually painting this, and, you know, that'll be the end of this toy. So we're going to build something similar today that's a little bit more finished. We're not going to do any of the sculpted details on here. We will go over into making patches and scratch building with other components to make things look a different way. And literally all we need is just random toys, super glue, X-Acto knife, some pliers or some model side cuts, or nippers as they're called. And that's really it. We don't need anything else. So we got enough people here now. We're a few minutes early, but we're just going to move forward. So we're going to work with dinosaur head today. And this part is going to be a little bit easier to work with because it's already sort of falling apart, and looks like I had already started cutting to this last time I was looking to scratch build, and then for whatever reason I found a better quality part. So we're going to remove this top half here, and then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to remove the head of the cowboy and try to keep this little scarf he's got going on, and we'll go from there. So this is a flexible plastic. As is this is a type of vinyl, so it's pretty flexible, so you want to be careful when you're cutting. And always try to cut on a seam. If there's a glued seam, that's going to be a point of weakness on this figure. So I always just start with a sharp X-Acto blade, a fresh one, and I'll cut in right along the seam here, and then I'll make a stop, and I'll go on the other side, but it's already cut. So we're just going to join up the separation. There we go. And you can see there's not much left holding that on there. It's a bit more of a fragile area. I don't want to damage this top fin here. So I'm just going to take my time. Cut into it slow. And it's okay. You don't want to like force a lot of this stuff. It'll cut. Just let it cut. And once that's separated, now we have this part free. Now you can see there's a few bits and details we don't really need on here, like these little arms could be funny if it had multiple arms and we just like had that on there, but I think it's not going to really add to the character. So we'll see what we do once we remove this top section of the head. Now this material is pretty firm, and I know I want to keep this cowboy hat. I like it. And like the actual head itself, I don't really care too much about. And it looks like for the back sculpt, there's a little bit of a collar on the shirt, but nothing super crazy. So we're gonna bust out a couple other tools. This is a X-Acto blade saw for just doing all sorts of different model building and architectural model stuff. These are really inexpensive tools, and a lot of people that are into this stuff already have this stuff lying around. So we're gonna just start by removing this part. It's kind of gruesome, I guess, but we want to just keep it really really clean, so take your time. And I recommend using this, or if you have a Dremel, that'll make a really fast work of this and it won't take too long. So right now I'm just scoring around the areas that I want to remove, trying to make sure I don't accidentally cut details that I don't want to have to fix later. And yeah, it looks like we're getting through it just fine. And sorry about the wobbles on the desk. All right. And we're just going to do some cleanup work now with this X-Acto blade to get rid of any of the excess material we don't need. And that actually cuts really smooth on here, so that's pretty good. And we just want a nice clean spot to start from. Sorry, it looks like the feed shut off. But yeah, so we got that going. Easy to cut small sections away with an X-Acto blade and get a smooth finish. Now next what we're going to do is we're going to fit this part material is a lot softer than hard plastic. It's a little bit easier to work with. So insert the blade again, go very slow, cut that down, and now we have this little section here that's flayed out, and we can remove this as much as we really want to. So we're just going to fix that really quick. All right, and we're just removing just like that. You can do it in two pieces if you want to, or you can do it in one. Depends if you want to use these parts again for anything else. I do want to save these little arms because I feel like I can use them for like the little G.I. Joe guy. All right. Sweet. Okay, so that's all removed. Not bad. Let's see our stream. What do we got going on YouTube? We got what, 5 people now? Can't tell. Yeah, so 5 people watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's been a little while since I've been able to upload things, and things have just been a little hectic, kind of all around everywhere for every single person I know right now. All right, so you know what? We're gonna remove that front part of the chest there. So I thought I could utilize some of that, but it looks like I can't. So we're just gonna cut that off there, and then this piece in here is for the actual injection molded details. So we're gonna cut that out. I'm just taking my time. I don't want to put too much force. I don't want to accidentally cut myself because this material is very soft, but it's flexible. So if you're not paying attention and you put too much force, it's very easy to hurt yourself. So definitely be careful if you're gonna do this and you're not an experienced model builder or someone that uses X-Acto blades. They can be very sharp and very dangerous if you know what you're doing. Hey, look at that. We got a second person on Twitch. Welcome. All right, so now we have our dinosaur head, and it looks pretty good. And because the figure itself has a predetermined expression and the head's tilted, I didn't really think about that too much. But that's okay. I think it's going to actually add to this. I think it's kind of funny with the stance it's already taking. So we're going to find a spot we like for the head. And then we're going to just trim away a few more small details. I'm going to use these nippers here to just trim an angle that's a bit more controllable. Because this material is very soft. If this was a harder material, I'd probably sand it down. But this material is a little too soft for that. So we're just going to use these nippers to get a nice clean angle. There we go. That looks pretty legit. So grab your super glue. This is my preferred super glue of choice. This is the plastic surgery, or the super hold plastic surgery super glue. You can use any super glue you want. This is just the one that I grab for most general scratch builds when I don't have to use an accelerator or anything like that. So we're just going to place the part where we want it. Give it a few seconds to really set up on the neck here. Oop, got some on the glove. Just give it a second and it will start to bond. It can be it's a little tricky to do this on camera. So bear with me, guys. I'm just doing a little drop again here and one right here just to weld it in place. So that's starting to fuse right now. It's looking pretty good. Give it a few seconds. It can take a little while. Now in situations like this, when you're starting to have some issues with the super glue, you can use other brands. Zap makes the zip kicker, which you can spray into their brand of super glue, which is a type of CA glue, which instantly cures the super glue. I believe this is a similar formula, so we're going to give it a shot. I'm just out of Zap right now. So it's a little spritz. Nope, not the same reaction. So, sorry, 1 second. Give it one more shot. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Okay, it's the same type of CA glue. So that instantly welded that one spot. We're going to do it again. We're going to just go a little heavy on the glue. And we'll hit it with the kicker again. And that instantly cures the super glue. It does get hot, so you don't want to get any super glue on your hand that's wet and spray the zip kicker because it creates a chemical reaction. It gets very hot. It actually melted this glove. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry, that's why I jumped, because I didn't realize I had that much super glue on me. All right, so there's that. Now we have this part on here. It's good to go. You can wipe off all the excess zip kicker stuff there. All right, not bad, not bad. Close this up until we're ready to use it again. Now, we can check out all the details here. Now, see how this part kind of juts out, doesn't look natural. We have the gaps in here. That's something that you would want to use a type of epoxy sculpt for or something like that, or you can fabricate other parts to go around it. So we have a bunch of robot parts that I can put around this I think we might use. So let's check the part bin really fast and see what we got. All right, so I found some pieces that might actually work. I was going to keep this Western, but it looks like we're going to get a little more space inspired than expected. That's fine. So we have these little metal parts here, which look kind of pretty neat. They're not metal parts. Sorry, they're robot parts that are supposed to be like metal parts. So they have a lot of angular pieces, and sometimes mixing these organic pieces with that is a really fun thing to do. So I think we can hide some of our mistakes and avoid having to pull out epoxy sculpt just because it's a little messy to work with, and I don't really have the space to work with it properly right now. So we're just gonna keep it simple. Dab some super glue on there. We did that little dry fit. Pretty happy with where it's placed. We're gonna hold this in place for a few seconds, and we're just gonna get a couple more points of contact on there and let that dry. So hold that a few seconds, and then we'll get some styrene. So I got some scrap pieces of styrene here, styrene plastic, and then we can cut it in and actually fill in all these gaps and just make it fit as we go along. So far kind of fun. I'm liking this so far. I think we're gonna have a cool little creation. Now I want to use this spine, I think, also on here. So we might keep that open and just remove the spine detail and add it to this cowboy on the back here. So this is a solid piece that's attached to the dinosaur. We're just going to remove just this piece here, and I think just a regular X-Acto blade is going to be the way to do that. We're going to angle it, and we're just going to slowly score in. Decent amount of pressure, not too hard. We don't want to slip. Boom. So you can see here we got a nice little incision, pretty much the entire length. We're going to do one on the other side and see if we can meet them up with like a slight V, and then we'll trim that flat and fit it better to the body. Certain power tools do make this process a lot faster. I just don't want to be using Dremels right now in my space. I'm working out of my bedroom, so trying to avoid the mess in here. And I'm also working much nicer desk now, so I do not want that to get damaged. All right. Not bad. Okay, so we pretty much got all the way through on both sides. Just do one more. Here we go. Starting to get through. Not terrible. Okay, so we're basically through the entire thing. Anyways, if you want to try to send wherever that is again, feel free. Sorry, it didn't let me see what it was. We're just going to keep it pretty simple today. Like I said, I've had a lot of things going on right now, and I just haven't had the ability to film and stream, trying to find a new apartment and all that. Anyone that's been following for a while knows what's been going on, I guess. If you follow me on Instagram and you see all the updates I've been making. But I am looking for a new place. It's been a bit of a struggle, obviously, not only because of coronavirus, but in the Boston area to try to move. So that's one of the things stream's going to be going. Looks like it's fine. And just an error on Twitch for some reason I can't seem to figure out. Oh, we're back. All right, guys. No, we're not. Yeah, this is another reason I've been a little hesitant on Twitch. I know there's a lot of technical things that are a bit more complicated than YouTube to do a consistent stream like this style. So that's something I'll have to look more into. All right. And if you're on Twitch, there should be a link in the description to get onto YouTube. If it keeps having issues, I'm sorry about that. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay, so we have basically this little spine column here completely removed. And it's flexible enough to where we can manipulate it to do what we want. So we're gonna just remove this little piece here. Come on. So I'm just cutting that away with this X-Acto knife here. Remove that. Now this is one of the easiest ways to make toys when you're first starting out. So when you first start getting into doing toy making, you're gonna want to probably do a couple different scratch builds and resin toys before you jump into vinyl. And you can sculpt your own original characters from scratch and then cast those with silicone really easily. And once I have a new place, I do plan to do some videos on that, but there are plenty of really phenomenal YouTubers out there with far more professional setups to do that type of thing if you really want to get into it professionally. right. And I'm just going to test out the chat, see what's going on, because it's been a pretty quiet one. Okay. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Just going to check the other platforms we have. All right. Looking pretty good. Looks like the chat's okay there. Huh. Okay. Doesn't look too bad. Just doing a little test really quick. All right, so it looks like it is working. I think it's just some issue with just some issues here. Sorry, guys. It's really hard for me to do these streams, and it does take a while, so please bear with me. It's just the nature of the beast, trying to work with multiple streams and everything else. Okay, nice. So we got some interaction on Twitch. So that's what that was all about. Thanks everyone that's interacting with the stream right now. I know it's a bit of an issue. But if you guys could like the stream itself, it's actually going to help us out quite a bit. So we have the stream bot up there. Hey, there we go. We're working. So yeah, if you guys want to interact more, I believe liking the videos will affect the stream boss of this. Also, any donations and things like that will also affect it, but there's no obligation to do any of that. It's just if you want to kind of play and get involved with that little feature that's now implemented. I thought it was kind of fun. And we also have a few other big things on here, some big donations that happens. I'm just going to actually re-shout these guys out. So this was last stream. And that was like on my birthday. So someone had donated 300 and it was a pretty big, it was the biggest donation I've ever gotten. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, it's kind of awesome. I think it's it's still wild to me that people want to donate and stuff while I'm doing these videos. And I do greatly appreciate it. It does help me out a lot trying to keep the channel going and expanding. Without these donations, I actually would not be able to do this on a regular basis. And I know I've been a little slow lately on my end trying to put content out, but things have just been pretty wild for me right now, trying to relocate and whatnot. All right, so we're gonna put this in place now. Because I have to glue in 2 sections, we want to wait for one side to glue completely dry for the glue. So we're just gonna spritz it a little bit. There we go. And this liquid, as soon as it gets into any of those areas or super glue touches it, it instantly cures it and solidifies and turns into a like a hardened plastic material. So that's why we're just hitting it a little bit, and then we're going to be gluing from a distance. So we're going to drop glue in like that, and we'll hit it one more time really quickly, and that instantly fills in that gap. So see how the gap is filling in with glue? That's one way to do it if you don't want to do all the different types of clays and things like that, and epoxy sculpt and all that stuff. You can just drop in glue really quickly, hit it with the zip, and then it instantly fills in that void, and it's clear. And that's not too terrible, to be honest. I've seen other ones that are pretty bad. So all right, and it looks like for this section here, we're going to remove some of this little detail. So we're just going to chop this down at an angle. There we go. That's removed piece. And we're just going to press this down. Normally I work with a heat gun with me as well, but I think if I plug one more thing in near this desk, I'm going to blow a fuse, and my apartment's very old, so not today. Or I'll work with a heat lamp, like an oil, not an oil, alcohol lamp, like you use for when you're doing wax sculpting, things like that. That's what they use. All right, so we're just going to hold this down. I'm just going to fill it with a little bit more glue. All right, we got. It looks like we just got another follower on Twitch, but it's not interacting yet on with the stream bot. So I don't know if that's a YouTube thing only or what. And then we got 3 viewers now on Twitch. And then we have, looks like 6 on YouTube. So guys, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. All right. It's looking pretty good. Gaps are basically filled in. There we go. Let that sit for just a minute. So you can see there's some details here that are a little rough, but most of it's filled in with the glue, and we don't really have to do too much touch up. That's something you can do, but no need really. So you can really do whatever you really feel like doing when it comes to this stuff. I always just wing everything and hope for the best. It's not the best, not the most scientific method for this, but it works for me. No complaints. All right. Now, I like the feet on here that are already in this, but I think it's going to get kind of top heavy once I start adding more details. So if you guys have suggestions on what you want to see to this figure, we can build it together and you can just tell me what you think would look cool and we'll try it out. We got some other random robot parts we can add to the arm and stuff. And I think I have a sword somewhere, which I think would be really funny to add as well. Like a weird little robot gauntlet. And this isn't going to fit in here, so there's this little groove. We can cut this away with an X-Acto knife, but I'm going to grab a file. It's a little bit easier. So I got a couple different files. We got this triangular one, and we're just going to cut away some of this material and see. Yeah, it's not bad. Let's try the X-Acto knife. Let's get the bigger X-Acto knife. The Kiwi knife. It's a Boston local company. You guys should check them out. They make some cool shit. So this is a injection molded plastic, and it's a little too strong to safely cut those supports off. So we're gonna grab the nippers again, and we're just gonna pull those away like that. So just pulling those away. Pretty simple, and it's on the inside, so it doesn't have to be super clean. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's get a little bit more on here. There we go. A little bit more. Let's cut away. All right, so we got some suggestions on Twitch, it looks like. A sword. And I'm just going to respond to them because I'm not sure if they can see it the same way. Okay. Yeah, so I think I have a sword right here. This is a little sandwich toothpick. You get from some weird sub shops and like little deli spots. They're these little plastic toothpicks. And I think that would be kind of awesome. So I'm going to add the sword here. That's actually fits in the hands perfectly. I think this hand's too close to have the sword forward. No, actually, no, we could do that, and then we can tack it to the body. But it looks a little weird. I think I'm going to do the other hand. Let's try that, and then we're just going to glue it in place. Let's check this arm gauntlet first and see. I think that's a little like too wild. Maybe like a knee guard or something might be fine. Yeah, there we go. It's like a cool knee brace thing. All right, so let's get this knee pad added real fast. All right. And just so you guys know, we do have options for you guys. If you do want to donate to the channel, you can do it directly on Twitch, I believe now. And there's also the donations tab, which is linked in the description. No obligation to do so, but if you would like to, the option is available. And it is greatly appreciated. It does help the channel out. And will help me in the process of trying to relocate to a larger space outside of the city. So wish me luck. I've been been just talking to realtors nonstop trying to find a new spot, and I'm trying to get out of Boston actually because there's just not much going on for work for me out here. So time to move on. And New York is looking pretty good. A lot of people I know are telling me to go try to do New York again just because a lot of people are leaving. And it's New York is about now exactly the same price as Boston right now. So pretty wild. It's absolutely insane. I don't want to say it's a positive thing because of the virus, but it's definitely interesting. All right, let's see. We got some other parts. We got this little back piece here, which actually might look kind of cool. Flipped over. Yeah, that would be kind of sick. I think that'll maybe add some dimension, help us hide some stuff. Yeah, let's try that out. I'm gonna get rid of these little nubs on the side here. So this is broken off of another piece. So we're just gonna get the X-Acto knife, chopping stuff, and just gonna trim that down real quick. Boom, nice and clean. And that's what this is, something you want your files for, or sandpaper. I have a few pieces that are already cut, so let's grab those. This is 320 right here, and we're just gonna lay it flat and hold this piece as flat as we can against it. All right, not bad. So looks pretty clean so far. Could probably make it cleaner, but that's also something you can use your etch primers for, which I won't be able to do on camera, but I can show you guys the end results when I do that tomorrow if it's not downpouring again. Okay, there we go. Also, if anyone wants to subscribe or unsubscribe and resubscribe to test out to make sure this Stream Boss thing is working, please do. I can test it, but it doesn't let me know if you guys are actually able to interact with it. I'm still learning all this stuff, and it's just me doing it. No one else is able to really help me with the stream side of it. Actually, you know what? Maybe this piece could go in the front. Now that I'm looking at it, that'd be kind of cool. Have to fill in the gaps. All right, we'll find another piece for this because I think this green piece actually would have fit perfectly, but we already used it, so it's fine. We're just winging this build. Let's just move forward with that plan. We'll get this little piece here, and then I'm going to fill that in with some styrene. I'm going to show you how to fill in gaps with styrene. All right, and this might be a brush on glue instead. So this is another type of super glue. This is the Plastruct Bond, and this is another glue that works very fast and it's very thin, so it's good for doing small alterations and detail parts on scratch builds. But it's tricky to do all this stuff and hold things and glue it and all that and all that. So I have no one else to hold the parts for me, so I gotta just get the glue ready, do a section, hold it in place, and then do the other section. So brush the glue in. And this dries a lot faster than the other glue, but it's not as strong right away because it melts the plastic itself. And sometimes plastics with a color don't react the same way as just regular non-dyed plastic. All right, and get this other side here. We'll just tack it in with some glue. This stuff smells terrible, also, just so you guys are aware. It smells absolutely awful. All right, so that looks like that's pretty good. That's like, yeah, that's pretty well bonded. Maybe not. Spoke too soon. All right, yeah, that looks fine. We're gonna just throw in some more glue until we get a nice solid weld on there. Okay. Yeah, that is an X-Acto saw. Sorry, I'm looking at two different chat windows. Yeah, that is an X-Acto saw. That's a question from Twitch. They're pretty inexpensive. I got mine at my local art store when they were getting rid of a bunch of old ones. So I got it super cheap. I think I got it for like $10 and a bunch of blades with it, which is a very good deal. But I know they're not terribly expensive normally, and they last forever. Once you get one, you don't really need them again. And you can actually this handle itself comes in a bunch of those X-Acto kits. And then you can just buy the blades and they all fit in there as well. All right. So that just keeps breaking away. So sometimes the plastic weld is too strong. So it's like a type of, I believe it's super glue and acetone in there. So we're gonna get the trusty general purpose super glue and just tack that in there. Let that hold for a sec and grab the zip kicker again. All right, boom, instantly bonded. This stuff's amazing. It lasts a long time too if you know, you don't over blast each little section. And you don't have to do both sides. You just need one to hold it, and then you can let the other one naturally dry. Take the 10 seconds or whatever it is. It's pretty good. Drink some seltzer. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Now I think we can put the sword on now. We're not gonna have too many issues. So I think this hand here is gonna be a better one for the sword. And we're just gonna use gravity on this one to glue it in place. Hang on, camera. One more time with the camera. There we go, we're back on the camera. Sorry, the camera keeps cutting out. I don't know why it's doing that. It normally doesn't with the GoPro, but occasionally we'll get weird little things like that where the camera has got some setting that I can't find right away. It always happens on stream, but please bear with me while that's going on. All right, so we're almost on an hour on the stream. We're just gonna keep going, and then if we start losing viewership, then I'll probably just call it a night. But this is kind of the general idea how scratch building is done, so we'll just keep plugging away at it. Looks pretty good. Also, if you guys want to listen to music, there are things in the Discord server that allow you to do that. There is a music bot. I believe it is functioning. I'm new to all this stuff, so please bear with me as I learn it. But that way you can view the stream, you can chat and interact with other people inside the Discord, you can share your work, all sorts of stuff. All right, that looks pretty good. We got a sword on there now. Hell yeah. Kind of feeling this. It's pretty fun. And then we have this little section here. So now that this is on there really well and bonded, we have a section that needs to get filled in. So I want to fill in this little gap, and it's a really tight area. So there's a few ways you can do it. You can take a piece of styrene, place it in, and, you know, try to trim it perfectly to fit and do all this ridiculousness for no reason. Or what you can do is you can take a piece, dry fit it like that, and then tack it with some glue, let it dry, and then it's good to go, and you just cut it off. So that's what the method I'm going to try to use instead. I prefer that method for filling in gaps. So we're going to take this, and sorry, that's just the air filter in the back. Sorry for that loud noise. It's pulling all the toxins out. All right. It just automatically kicks on when it senses something toxic in the air. Okay, so we got this little section here that I'm gluing up with the weld bond stuff here. Or the Plastruct, not the weld bond. And I'm just holding it in place. I'm going to leave it there for a couple seconds. And always screw this cap back on when you're done, because it's so easy to spill these bottles. I do it all the time. I normally keep them inside of a base so they don't tip over. Another glue that I like to use for like the light cement. I'm gonna add another drop on the top here. And sorry, Twitch seems to keep cutting out, so sorry guys on Twitch. Hopefully it'll pop back up like it did before. So I'm gonna just add a drop of this thicker CA glue down in here. And it's a decent amount. It's starting to gum up. place. So I'll usually grab a piece of metal like this, and it's a lot easier when you're sitting down too to do some of this. And I'll lightly score the edge. So I'll just score along it, and I usually do as close as I can to the seam. And I just keep scoring it until I'm either through this material or it's enough to where I can just bend it and snap it off. That's the beauty of styrene. As soon as a little cut in there or like a little etch in there, it's really easy to just snap a part off and you're good to go. So we're just going really slow, very lightly again. Side. And now we're just going to do this other part here, on the side here. Off, because you can cut yourself if you're not careful, so just be careful when you're doing this type of cut. We're just scoring the edges on both sides here. All right, not terrible. So it's pretty good. Now I'm sure we could break this off very easily, but I want this to be a very clean cut. So we're gonna pull this up and we're gonna actually etch all the way up and snap one side off, then snap the other side. It makes it a lot easier in the long run. So it's been scored. You can take pliers if you're not confident in your ability to just snap it with your fingers if the piece is too small. So I just got some simple craft pliers here. And that snapped right off, nice and clean. Now we just have a little section to clean up near the etch, and that's not too big a deal. Sorry, there's somebody outside constantly laying on the horn over here all the time. All right. So put some pressure behind this one too, and we're just gonna snap this back. Not terrible. It's pretty good actually. I think basically all the way through, so we could just score it once with a knife and it'll probably come right off. Just like that. This side too. Boom. That one's already basically cut through. We'll just score it a few more times. And look at that. The gap perfectly filled. No issues, no voids. A little bit of overhang you can hit with some sandpaper or a file. We're just going to grab a flat file. So I got this little flat file here, and we'll just clean this up. Trying to get an angle so you guys can see the process. Let me just double check the chat over here on Twitch. All right, it says they're going to hop over to YouTube. So if you guys are still getting some issues, I'm really sorry about that. I'm very new to Twitch. This is the first like official video stream. All right, we got someone now coming from Twitch on to YouTube. So welcome. Thank you for sticking around for the stream. I'm hoping to have this all figured out, and by the time I actually move into the new place, the internet's a little bit better. I'm going to hope. Or at least try to make it better. So we're just cleaning up some of this part here. We're going to file out some of that glue as well that doesn't let this part lay as flat. And this makes a lot of dust, so just so you guys are aware, it does make dust. Not too bad though. I think we got a nice little clean seam now. Going to scrape out some of that dust, and then I'm going to grab a different type of file that's got an angled edge, this triangular one. It'll help us get in that groove a little bit better, and we're just going to sand that down. And it actually fits in this groove perfectly, so the angle of this file just happens to perfectly fit in this groove. It doesn't always happen that way, but we're kind of lucky on this one. It's been a pretty good build. So now you can see you got a nice perfect little V in there. Nice and clean. So it looks like it's a factory solid cast part now. And that's the beauty of being able to work with styrene sheets and things like that. You can literally fabricate anything you want. Taking a seltzer break. 1 second. Refreshed. All right. So I'm trying to think of what else we can do now that we have. This guy's kind of, let's let this one sit for a minute. Oh, hey, what's up, Bonk? What's going on, dude? Don't worry about it. I'm glad you can make the stream, and good luck with college for sure. I know that Discord's been like dead lately. I've been trying to trying to be active on there. I miss you guys. All right, so we got this figure going now. So we're gonna put this guy off to the side, let it rest. I'm gonna wait for some suggestions. So either you guys that are over on Twitch watching or on YouTube right now, definitely just feel free to drop in some suggestions of what we might be able to add to this guy. But let's let him sit for a minute. Now let's move on to what else we got. So we got this cowboy head, and I think it's a pretty angry looking cowboy. I like the hat still, so I either might take this hat off and cut the head part off and then glue the hat onto the lizard. Not sure yet. We'll figure that out. But we also got these legs here on this guy. So this is another part that I started working on from another build and then ended up just not going with it. So that's fine. It does happen. I'm going to actually cut through this all the way and take the legs off because I don't want to try to repair that. And I think we'll do something with the legs, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me pull some more random pieces out. Maybe we'll find some gold. Okay, actually, so we got this robot torso from another small Gundam kit, which I could take the legs off and put them inside here. Be kind of funny looking. Let's see. You know what? All right, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to remove these hooks on here because they're in the way and they're not going to serve us any purpose. So we're going to remove these, and let's see. I think the arms too on this, they're backwards. So this is like a cheap dollar store toy, and they do not care about anatomy. So a lot of the times everything's backwards on them. So it's just doesn't make any sense. The hands are completely backwards how they would be if you were holding something. So I think it's kind of funny. They're like upside down. And that kind of adds to this, so it's a little fun. We're going to cut the top portion off. We're going to save the legs because I think the legs could be something funny. And maybe even incorporate just the cowboy head on these legs. All right, we got imaginary Kevin still as the stream boss. What's up, guys? Cutting through this. Luckily this thing's hollow and the whole backside there's like nothing going on in there. Alright. Should be pretty quick to cut through. Sorry the camera's shaky again. This is just clamped with a really inexpensive rig for the GoPro. My DSLR is too heavy and the parts I need to properly do a stream with it are sold out everywhere or they're crazy expensive. All the Elgato stuff is just crazy marked up right now. A lot of people giving you those scalper prices. All right, so that was a decent cut. It's a little rough. We're gonna take the sandpaper. We're gonna clean these up a little bit. Not bad, not bad. All right, let's see. Nice and clean. Got that off. Let's do the same thing on the top portion here. Get a nice flat thing to work with. I might only even just use the arms from this because it's pretty funny to me. I think the arms are the funniest part. I just can't help myself. It's just too good. I couldn't find any of the other parts I like to work with a lot. I have a lot of Masters of the Universe toys. When I did a lot of bootlegs, that was my main go-to body in series to pull from, just because it's hilarious. All right, so we got, come on, stay on there. All right, we're gonna let this dry. I gotta hold it in place and then just hit it with some zip again really fast, and then we'll go back to the dinosaur. But I'm gonna take the arms and then put them at the side of these hips. I think that'll be really funny. The back here, I'm not too worried about. We can put some of them back there. Maybe I'll bust out the clays after all, and we'll put a mullet on it or something hilarious. We'll see. We'll see what I'm thinking. I don't know. And we got some other weird flash spots. I'm gonna just hit with the side cutters. Looks pretty good. It's gonna be a little top heavy, but I do have this base right here. And there's just this little piece here. So I'm actually going to just cut that little peg off because I don't need it. And that looks pretty close there. Just get as close as I can. And then we'll take the razor and then we'll just trim that. Also, guys, if you can like this video, if you're on YouTube, that helps the channel out so much. So please, please feel free to like the video. It will help me out a lot. All right. Enough ranting. So this looks pretty awesome, actually. I think this is a pretty funny piece. And I like it. So we're going to move forward with that. We're going to just dab some super glue on the bottom of the foot here. This one, go a little heavy. That's fine. We're going to cover up that little blemish on this. Bam. Hold it down in place for just a few seconds. This should bond really quickly as well, so I'm not too worried about that. Super glue getting on everything. All right, so that's drying right now. Looks pretty good. I mean, come on, you gotta admit that's hilarious. And then as soon as I add these super angry arms on the side of it, you can't beat that. That thing's fucking awesome. All right. Okay, so back to the lizard space cowboy guy. This guy looks pretty good. I think we're going to cover up the neck here with some more robot parts because I don't want to have to try to fix this and grind it down. It's going to make too much mess. So let's find some other parts that can go over this and look really clean. Oh, you know what? I just realized too. Sorry, while picking this up. What? Oh, come on. That's... I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think looks funnier? These little tiny... like lizard arms, or the weird messed up bootleg arms on the side. Let me know. Put it in the chat. You think the little dino arms or the Schwarzenegger arms? Let me know. I'm gonna dive and search for some more parts for the front of this real quick. Lizard for sure. All right. So we got a lizard for sure so far. Okay, yeah, so, all right, lizard arms are it. All right, so I think I found some pieces that are going to work. Okay. So we got another one of these weird, I think this was like a shoulder pad, just like this one. And I think we might be able to make this work if I change a few simple details. Yeah, so if I pull this forward and glue it, I think it'll be fine. But it looks a little awkward and big, so we'll have to patch in this hole here, which I'm not sure I want to do yet, but it is a nice clean seam. So we might just go with that for now. Yeah, actually that'll work. That's actually not too bad of a fix. And then we'll add styrene like we did before. So we'll tack that with glue, then we'll add the lizard arms to this guy. And you know what? I think I'm going to give one of these away. So I just need the shipping covered. So if anyone does donate on the stream, you get this lizard. As long as it just covers the shipping, that's all that really matters to me. I can't afford to just ship stuff, but I can ship as is if you want to paint it yourself, or I can save it if no one wants to take one of these guys. And I'll actually paint it on another stream if you guys want to do that. Okay, so that's going to sit for a minute. We're going to let the glue hold up. It's getting a little top heavy, so got to be careful of that in the design. All right. I like it. Tall and small lizardman team. I think we just built the next Marvel Cinematic Universe series. All right, let's trim that little piece away. Okay, so we got this little void here. We're going to just cover that up on the butt. I think this dude needs a mullet too. I don't know how I'm going to build that just yet, but I think that needs to happen. All right. Wasn't glued on super good. That's fine. We'll fix that afterwards. It's almost like a jacket. I just can't get over this. Is so freaking ridiculous. All right, burn on my hand. So this super glue in the zip kicker, if it gets on your skin or near your skin, it is very hot and it can burn you. So be careful whenever you're using this stuff. I'm just going to change my gloves out because that hurt actually pretty bad. So give me just like 30 seconds. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back now. Let's see. Ugh. Okay. Sorry about that. Safety first, guys. It's important. Get gloves on right now. Come on. And I can't really help you make a vinyl toy. I can give you the advice and my experience, but I can't help you produce it. And I think that's where a lot of people, that's what they want me to do, and I just can't do that. So I'm sorry about that, and that's why we're doing a novelty bootleg to start, because the vinyl is a whole other animal, and you really need to be committed to get the vinyl made and be very passionate and already have had probably some resin toys already out. At least I suggest that before you move into doing a vinyl toy. Like that's how I got started. You know, I started with the resin. I casted everything myself. I hand sculpted at first, and then I did scratch build stuff like this. And this is super easy to do. Anyone can do this. It's very easy to learn about. There's a lot of information out there. But if you guys are interested in more of like the vinyl toy aspect of things, I will share my experiences and how I kind of made my first vinyl. But you do not need to make a vinyl toy to get into making designer toys. There's plenty of phenomenal resin artists that are out there now that do great stuff. And they do everything in-house for the most part. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got the arms. They're looking pretty good. We got some weird voids and gaps in here, which we could fill with like a putty or something. I think it needs a tail, so we're going to add a tail as well. So I'm going to look for a tail or something that could be used as a tail. Actually, we have a full tail right here on this dinosaur. I guess we could remove the tail and the legs. It's splayed pretty well. I actually have a perfect part to do that. So we're going to take a piece of styrene, another scrap piece, and we're just going to cut a little rough rectangle shape and then glue this round random plastic cap. This is an X-Acto blade cap. Or sorry, that's an Excel blade cap, not X-Acto brand. I use both. I actually like the Excel blades more than the X-Acto ones now. I used to be like a diehard X-Acto only, but most of the blades now I actually use are Excel. But they both do the same thing. It doesn't matter which one you prefer. And I'm just cutting a little bit off here. See that? And that snaps off clean, perfect little straight edge there. And we just need a little tiny rectangle for this to fit onto. So we want an area with the most surface contact to whatever parts we're fusing. This is a plug here, and this fits really, really snug inside. But I think we might be better off with the cap side. Yeah, so it fits like a perfect glove, and that's just conveniently having those parts. So we're gonna just stick with that. Okay, we're gonna glue this down as well. We're gonna use some of the weld bonds. You can use any super glue. This stuff is just very quick. See how quickly it's drying. So we'll just place it down. Go around it one more time. All right, and that looks like a very good fit. Once there's glue in there, that'll really secure that in place. And that's pretty much done. So we'll just grab our X-Acto blade, or our knife, I don't know, our scalpel. I'm gonna keep mixing it up and people are gonna get annoyed. I already know it. All right. Sorry, guys. Let's get that going one more time. And Twitch just keeps getting into some issues. So if anyone knows about Twitch, hit me up, DM me. I don't know what I'm doing on there. I'm definitely need some help. It's getting hot as well. I'm going to turn on my AC for a minute. If it gets too loud, let me know in the chat. It's a hot one out there. Hopefully that's not too noisy, but I got to turn that on for a minute. Get some fresh air also going through. I think that's gonna work. I don't know. Sometimes so I'm just gonna sink the blade in, pull gently down. So there's a lot of super glue behind here that's really, really hard to cut through, and that forms basically like a hard plastic. So that would be a tool, again, a Dremel would be great for, with like a little cutoff wheel. But we have these nippers here, so we're going to just cut through this one. And then do another one up here. And then we'll just trim away at an angle to try to get it out. Come on. There we go. This is just to make room for the tail. And you can sculpt all this stuff down and make it however you want it to look. We're just doing this for right now to get it moving along. But this can be super fun, and normally I take a lot more time and plan these pieces out, and there's usually some sort of message behind them. And that's what's really fun with these. If you look at a lot of really famous bootleg toy artists, you can make political statements, you can make really fun, just random art with it, or make toys that don't exist. Indie toy bootleg world, but again, his stuff is like, I don't know. He's like a character actor, so you'd have to. And if you're willing to deal with that, then you should check out his stuff. I think it's definitely worth knowing about if you're not familiar with it. Okay. That doesn't look terrible. So we're gonna just the shape. You don't have to clean things up that are gonna be covered like this. I'm waiting for other parts to dry, so we're just gonna go around it. Okay, looks pretty good. And we just need a little bit to cover that section, get it in there. Let's grab the sandpaper. Sometimes the sandpaper is easier. All right, not bad, not bad. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Looks like we're starting to lose most of the audience. We'll give it a few more minutes. I know this is definitely a weird stream compared to the regular art streams, but I do get a lot of requests for this, and I wanted to make sure I finally would do one of these streams because it is requested so often. But if you guys aren't into these streams and this sort of stream, please let me know. I'm still trying to figure out what I can do. I do plan to do some other regular videos in the near future, but things are hectic trying to move and my living situation at this apartment and all the things that have kind of drastically changed this year for everybody because of coronavirus. My income's a lot less, so I'm needing to move soon, and hopefully that'll allow me to get more space to work again and do the other videos I was doing before. But as of now, this is all I got, so please bear with me. All right, we'll put the tail on here, and I guess it looks like we're losing some viewership on my end. All right, now we got 5 people again. If we can maintain 5 people, it's worth keeping on stream. I'm just tacking the spot for the tail right now. It's also really hard for me to get everything perfectly on camera, but I'm trying my best. Okay, that's on there. We got the tail. We're going to place the tail on next. Let's see how that actually fits. That looks pretty good. Okay, so the tail looks pretty good. It's up a little bit high, but I kind of like that. You can also angle it. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, right there. That's the spot. So we're going to drop some glue in and then hit it with a tack again. A little heavy, that's okay. Got the glue. Nice. Alright, so that's tacked in. Just zap it a few more times. Pretty good. Alright, we got the viewership back up a little bit. Welcome back, guys. Or if you're just joining, welcome. Okay, so we got our weird cowboy lizard tail that looks pretty good. Now, normally I would sculpt into this, but I'm not using epoxy sculpt on live stream anytime soon, just because it's very messy and kind of toxic. So we're just going to avoid that altogether until I can do proper videos on it to show you guys. And not everyone has access to that stuff, so super glue and random toy parts is all you really need. And I want to kind of keep it like that for now. We're going to put this guy back on a base. Let him sit for just a second. Hold him in place. Starting to run out of that kick. Little accelerator. There we go. Just a little bit of accelerator is all you need to get that stuff to cure instantly. But yeah, guys, check him out. He looks pretty badass. He's hard to see on camera because of how bright orange it is, but the orange is like the perfect color. And I think I might try to paint it this orange completely. It just looks really funny. We're going to put one robot piece on the back, so these guys are like a set. This weird robot foot I think we could take apart. It's not glued together. That might work. Get some pliers. Let's see. Try not to gnar up the plastic too much. But if you do, it's just battle damage. Always remember that. If you mess it up, it's just battle damage. It's on purpose. Alright, that's not gonna work. So we're gonna make something out of styrene. Don't have any pieces left. Some scrap still. Let's see. Trying to think. I feel like there's parts I can use that would work for this. I definitely have a million scrap pieces somewhere. Now, this is a Dremel cut piece. It's nice and smooth. Okay. Yeah, I think I found the parts I want to use. I don't know if they're not glued together. Sick. So we got this piece here, and it's two different sections. And let's just dry fit it real quick. I think that'll work actually. So let's pull it apart for a sec. Oh yeah, man, that's definitely like a sick part for that. I think that'll fill in that gap nicely. Let's piece it back together. We'll snap fit there. Just gonna cut these tabs down. Just making some space. There we go. Okay, it's kind of hilarious. It's a little wonky, but I kind of like that. Um, it's holding in blue, so we're gonna leave it as is and add to it if we can to maybe. And I think we can just glue that because it'll clean up some of it. Oh yeah, that's perfect right there. And we'll add a flap. Nice. We got the Dino Jetpack looking pretty solid. So we'll tack that in real quick. Definitely too much glue on that, but that's all right. Just let that. I love this. Okay, guys, and that might be it for tonight. It looks like we're losing viewership again. If I can't keep it above 5, I usually don't want to stream super long. I know it's a weird video. We will be doing other art stream ones again, so please don't be discouraged. The channel's just going through some changes, but it will be back to doing some of the regular stuff that we normally like to do on here. So please don't worry, it will be back to normal soon. All right, that looks pretty good. I think I'm just gonna mark it real quick with a marker. Let's grab. No, let's use just a pencil. It's a little bit easier to see. So on the styrene, we can see we have an angle here because it's not perfectly square with the parts how they're glued on, and that's common in scratch building. So we have the 2 little marks there. Just line them up with our ruler to get the angle and the edge we need. And we're just going to do a couple strokes until we're through the part. Not bad. There's a little bit of shakiness on there, so we're going to grab the sandpaper again and just run it along. There we go. That's exactly what we need for the edge. This backside's got a little bit of roughness to it. Just give it a little sandpaper as well. Nice and clean. All right. So now we can line our parts back up and just slide them to fit. That's really all it takes. So we'll find where they sort of meet. That looks about right there. And then we'll just hit it with some glue and then cut it. So a little bit of glue. Fill the gap in pretty fast. Print video series like this in the future for the people that are into it on specific days, and then I will go back to doing the regular art streams like we were doing on Thursdays. Okay, so that's just being held in place. We're just gonna let that dry, and I'm just gonna put a little bit more glue. You know what, that looks fine. We'll just hit it with the zip. Alright, now it's perfectly attached on there. We're going to just trim away a little bit more. Once that's all trimmed away, this guy will be ready. He looks perfect the way he is. If anyone wants to name these characters, feel free to do so. Leave them in the chat. I'm going to test the chat actually because I think the chat might be dead again. Discord. Let's see, sorry. So on Twitch, says we have viewers, but I'm not seeing it on my screen. Let me just refresh this. Could just be my connection. All right. Oh, I know that hat. That hat is perfect. We might be losing Twitch. I don't know. Hang on, guys. We're just doing one more test really fast. All right, so the chat is working. You guys are able to respond in there. Okay, sick. If you guys want to like the videos as well, if you like the video, I believe that does interact with the Stream Boss feature. Or if you're new, subscribe. Hell, if you want to unsubscribe and then resubscribe, I just want to see if the Streambot is working. I have no idea to tell, again, from my end, if it's just the connection or I set it up wrong. But we are currently at 740 subs as of this video. Okay, so we got that on there. That looks pretty good, actually. Like, first trim. I'm just going to grab the razor and slowly score down. It's a thin enough piece, so it should just cut pretty smooth. I'm not putting a lot of force. I'm just literally running the blade at an angle for the bevel I want. Boom, nice and clean. And then once I hit that with the file and prime this thing, it's going to be solid. All right, and it looks like Twitch might be out. I don't know what's going on, guys. If you're still able to view on Twitch, I have the chat open on my phone, so if you want to respond, let me know. Okay, that looks awesome, guys. I love this. This little lizard is just such a weird thing, but it's just so fun. All right. And there's that gap. I want to put something in there. I think I can put, I'm trying to think of what can I put in there that I don't have to sculpt in. These parts are too big. I got this little dinosaur. Maybe I could like put the little head in the armpit. Would that be weird? Would that be weird in a bad way? I don't know. Let me know, guys, what you think I should do with that little gap in there. I could leave it and then just kind of hope for the best. We'll leave it for now. Let's get back to the main lizard. We're going to do a few more things to this. And then, guys, I think we're going to call it. We're almost at 2 hours, so when we hit the 2 hour mark, I'm going to call it a night for this. Thank you guys for coming to check it out. It's been pretty awesome. My throat's getting a little dry, so it's a little hard to work on stuff and talk this whole time. Need more water. All right, we're back with the main lizard. So we got a few areas in here that I kind of want to fill with some styrene. I think I like seeing his neck and stuff. I think that's a cool feature. But I think the insides here, they just look ugly, and that's okay. That happens. We're just going to add some other details to it really quick. So I think we're going to take some of these little cut off pieces of styrene and I don't know. I probably should have did that beforehand, but sometimes when you're doing scratch builds, you build on the spot and you repair on the spot. So we're going to do that. We're going to repair on the spot. We're just going to go in as deep as we can, and we're going to use again the Plastruct weld bonded stuff, or keep saying that. It's just the Plastruct welder. That's the name of it. Weld bond's another type of adhesive I use for other things, and I always just mix it up. A little bit more. All the flat points, that's where I want contact. So I just gotta hold it for 10 seconds. All right. man, it's getting there. Okay, so that's a decent amount of time. We're gonna let that one dry, and then the other side has the jaw in the way, so we gotta find a smaller piece that still covers just as much. And let's see. I try to use every little scrap that I can of styrene because you never know how it's gonna fit. And sometimes you get a piece that's just perfect, and you have to move forward with it. I think this piece will be perfect for our needs, so we're gonna go forward and we'll trim away all the excess afterwards. So same process. Also, if you guys want to listen to music and not hear me talk, you can do so on the Discord. There's a bot on the Discord that should allow you guys to just pick and choose songs. YouTube doesn't let me play music anymore. They will shut down the stream. But I know Twitch is a little different, so go check that out on there. Just gonna hold this for a few more seconds. You can see some of the color migration from the green parts onto the white because this glue actually melts everything and then it bonds, if that makes any sense. And one of these guys I'll actually blast with primer if we have time, so you can see what they would look like completely on a grade scale, and then you would just paint them afterwards. So, oh yeah, we're using all the glue. We're using all the glue. So, okay, it looks like when you guys comment the stream boss isn't affected. If you like the video, I don't know if that affects it. I'm not sure if it's donation only. Sorry, I feel really dumb for hyping up the stream boss thing and not really knowing what it does. So, next time we'll figure that out. If there's a way for me to change it so like likes and comments and stuff affects the stream boss, I will do so. Make sure that that's working next time. All right, this looks pretty sick, guys. I'm feeling this thing. Underneath here on the bottom side, we could probably clean up with some styrene if we wanted to, but I don't think there's really a need. It's a tight groove. It's doable, but we'll leave it as is. And then these parts just need a little bit more time to dry. I think this other side's good, so we're gonna start working on that. Grab a piece of thin metal with this ruler as a safety precaution and also something for us to cut against. So apply that in there. And we're just gonna follow the shape of this part and just remove where we can. And just scoring the edges very lightly over and over until we either get through the part or it's fragile enough to just easily snap the part off. All right, not fully cured on the glue. So the softer cements, like the really thin ones, they don't have as strong as a bond, and that's fine. But you can end up damaging the part. So we actually we are gonna remove this because it will allow us to break this other piece off really quick. And we have basically the shape we need now, so we're gonna just put that back in, and we'll grab the other glue and tack that in place. I'm gonna trim that back end off actually. Let's see that. Little tiny piece. Boink. That's gone. Okay. So sometimes you can do that too if you're intentionally trying to, temporarily bond a part. Lightly use the cement and then don't go too heavy. And just add like the tiniest bit of glue to tack it in place till you get the marks you need. Or you can just draw it with a pencil, which makes way more sense and it's probably a much more logical approach. Oh no. Gotta zip kick this guy in place. Alright, almost got it perfect. That guy's lined up. A little drop of glue. That was way too much. That's fine. All right. Move that. Any of the excess glue you can wipe up. I usually just wipe it on the part, it smooths it out. Because I'm going to add a bunch of primer and stuff. Come on. Alright. Just let that solidify up. So we got that little pointy part to take care of, and then that's really it. And this is accessible enough to just use the nips on here. Sorry guys, little cutout. This is accessible enough to just use these standard nippers, and it's secure enough now. So we'll just go in and we'll little tiny cut here, another one here, and we'll just remove that part. Same thing up here. This is accessible enough to cut as is. Looks pretty good. And we'll just go in with a razor blade and fix those and file them down and get everything squared away. It's pretty good. There we go. And we're going to flatten it and just fill in some of the voids that we made with that flat file. Not terrible. We'll get the other side too over here. So this still has that thinner cement, but the piece is smaller, so we might be able to just get away with that. So we're just going to cut, and then we'll grab the nippers and see what we can pull away. Not terrible, looks decent. That perfectly fits now inside that groove. And we just got the top part here, which we could just nip if we wanted. So I think we're going to do that. We're just going to glue it in place. And this is not like a super well planned out scratch build. You could really take your time and articulate something a little bit better if you wanted to and spent the time to do so. Like I said, we're just having fun with this right now. This isn't anything super serious. Just tack that in. Come on. Trying to stick to my gloves. There we go. Have a glue there. Drops in into this crevice. Right there a little bit. Alright, and then get that in place. Looks pretty good. And we'll cut this piece off. So what we're going to do. That looks pretty good actually. Alright, I'm happy with that. Those look nice and flush for the most part. Just looking for that file. There it is. Alright, so we're just going to file this real quick. Very light. That looks awesome. I like that actually a lot. And I don't know if you guys have been here since the beginning of the video, We have these little nameplates that are on side the they're on side. They're on the bar here, so we're just going to remove that with the X-Acto knife really quick, and then we'll tack it on with this weld bond, and that will perfectly fuse to the component we're trying to work with. So we're just going to cut on the inner edge here. Just keep scoring it until it's ready to come free. Yeah, also if you guys want to snag one of these pieces, I'm gonna actually do it in the Discord server. I'm gonna give it some time for people. A lot of people watch the channel in other parts of the world and they can't make these streams. So the Discord server is linked in the description. It is free to join. It's just a creative community about all the art and different things that I do and that you guys do. It's just kind of a fun place, and it's just a much more centralized hub of all the stuff I'm working on, and I think it'll be a lot easier to do a giveaway there versus trying to give it away on here for the people that watch these streams later on. But I will be giving these away. They're going to be something that you can grab if you want one, and try your luck. Okay, so this looks pretty good so far. We're going to clean it up a little bit more. I'm just going for the C. That's all I want. I like this. I like the cup metal plasma torch look of it. I think it's kind of cool, actually. Oh man, we just got way more viewers out of nowhere. All right, so we got 9 or 8 people watching now total. All right, pretty good. Just trimming away. Trying to make this pretty square. Looks okay. And these flush cutters do a great job of lining that shit up. These are just some cheap basic ones off of Amazon, I believe. Alright, sandpaper again. Just get this part nice and flat. And we're going to bust out the tweezers in a minute. Show you guys why. There's some helping hands tools that might be useful. They're like the little clamps. I'm sure you guys have seen them in movies and shit, but they're a real thing for soldering and stuff like that. I just don't have a set anymore here. They're just one of those things you never think to buy more than once, and I had a pair and now I no longer do. So we're going to add this little plate here. Let's add it to the side. I think that'll be a cool detail. Yeah, so right here, we'll add this, the C. And you know what? Now it doesn't look as legible when it's scaled, but that's fine. It's all about scratch building. You just kind of experiment. Placed right where we want it. And then brush the glue onto it, like so. So that looks pretty good. Those surface details, that's what this stuff is mainly meant for, is really tiny surface details. and it just welds it perfectly to the surface. I'm going to go blast this with primer really fast. I think that's it. I think we're going to keep this figure as is like this. I think that's enough. You can go on forever with a scratch build. I'm going to go throw some primer on this. I'll be back in literally 30 seconds. I just got to do that outside. So give me a second. Okay, sorry guys, took a little bit longer than I thought, but that's that right there. That's all you really need to do, and it pretty much pulls it all together once you throw that primer on there. This looks like a perfect piece that's already ready to be painted, and that's it. It's really simple to do scratch builds. If you wanted to make duplicates, you could make a much more simplistic figure and make multiple part molds, 2 to 3 part molds. Yeah, it definitely was the longest 30 seconds ever. I'm sorry, I forgot where I put my primer. But yeah, check it out. Like, it looks like this was made in a factory already, and it's just ready to paint. And really didn't take too long to make this thing. We made 2 toys, one-offs, if you will, little characters, and we could paint them whatever colors we wanted. So that's kind of neat. Let this one stand up. It's a little top heavy. I'll take some photos of these later. There's a few other spots I might hit again with a little bit more primer to fill in. And then you can just do all your finish sanding and stuff like that, and it would, be done and good to go. This guy too, we can go hit with some primer. This time I'm gonna give myself 45 seconds. All right, so starting 10 seconds from now once I leave. All right, I'm back again. So this is the other one here. It's all light coat of primer thrown on there, but it looks like an actual production piece. It's kind of awesome. Again, you can make molds of this stuff if you wanted to make multiples, and you'd probably plan it out a little bit differently if you were going to do that, just to make your molding process easier and have less defects. But I'm actually really happy with both of these, and I'm gonna, I don't know, we'll see. We'll run some stuff on the Discord if people want to grab these as is, or if they want me to paint them. I'm gonna do a giveaway on there. Yeah, we'll see. I just want to keep it simple. The shipping and stuff, if shipping could be covered, that'd be rad. I'm in a tight spot trying to move right now, but we're almost at 750 subscribers on YouTube, which is huge. We just made it up to 5 followers on Twitch today, so that's awesome. It's a new platform for me, so thank you guys so much for supporting on there. The 2 people viewing right now on Twitch, thank you for viewing. Everyone that's checked it out, it's been a really big help having the YouTube channel and a place just to kind of share creativity. And you guys, seriously, it's a awesome thing, and I really do appreciate it. But I'm taking the gloves off. We're going to be ending the stream in a few minutes. But yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for really supporting. It's been a pretty rough one the last month, but this has definitely kept my spirits pretty high during this whole quarantine pandemic ordeal. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video tonight. I'm going to try to get better about uploading more consistently on the main channel, and it's just until I can move and all that, everything's up in the air. I don't know what I can put out for content, but I do plan to be making more main channel stuff and more in-depth toy tutorials. I do have something about flocking coming out, and then the other popular series on my channel, the Merch and Destroy series, which is about making all different types of merch. We are going to be covering the different styles of printing and how you can do the same thing if you're on a budget. So if you want screen printed looking shirts, how you can do that without having to invest heavily in a screen printer right away, or learn screen printing yourself. So those are videos that are in the works right now. It's just all dependent on the weather, but that's going to do it for tonight's stream. Again, go onto the Discord server. There's a link in the description if you want to grab one of these figures as part of the giveaway. I'm going to be figuring out how we're going to do that on there, so that'll be up there. And yeah, guys, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching.